Welcome to VSOW. Today, you're joining us for a deep dive into the captivating universe of science fiction cinema. We're not just listing titles here. We're really exploring the films that have, left a lasting imprint on the genre and continue to spark our imaginations. To do this, we've gathered insights from a really interesting mix of sources. We've got Collider's rankings of influential and thought-provoking sci-fi, Time Out's Top 100, AFI's definitive Top 10, and even a lively Reddit thread where enthusiasts share their sort of hidden gems. Our mission really is to go beyond the surface and understand what truly makes a sci-fi film resonate, influence, or provoke thought, and maybe uncover some surprising connections along the way. So, where do we even begin to unpack such a vast topic?
Well, I think a logical starting point would be to consider the very genesis of the genre on film. Collider rightly points to Georges Méliès's A Trip to the Moon from 1902. It's quite remarkable, really, to think that this short film, barely 15 minutes long, essentially laid the foundation for everything we consider science fiction cinema today.
Absolutely. When you think about it, Méliès wasn't just telling a story. He was like showing us the impossible, right? The visual spectacle of that lunar voyage, the fantastical creatures, it must have been absolutely mind-blowing for audiences back then. It really speaks to the inherent power of cinema to transport us, to ignite that sense of wonder about what lies beyond. That initial spark of imaginative possibility is something that continues to define the genre, isn't it?
Precisely, yeah. It demonstrated the unique ability of film to visualize the speculative and the futuristic, setting a crucial precedent. Now, if we fast forward several decades, we see how advancements within filmmaking technology itself began to, well, fundamentally reshape the landscape of sci-fi. When we consider films that truly push the boundaries of what was visually possible, two titles from our sources immediately come to mind: Jurassic Park and Star Wars.
Ah, yes. Jurassic Park, 1993. That was a seismic event, really. Collider emphasizes how it skyrocketed the bar for CGI and sci-fi blockbusters. It wasn't just that there were CGI dinosaurs, it was the sheer realism, wasn't it? The seamless integration. How do you think that leap in technology changed the trajectory of sci-fi storytelling?
Oh, fundamentally, it expanded the scope of what filmmakers could realistically depict. Massively. Suddenly, entire worlds, creatures, things previously confined to the realm of imagination, they could be brought to life with this unprecedented level of believability. This not only heightened the sense of immersion for audiences, but also allowed narratives to explore more ambitious, more visually complex scenarios. And, the financial success of Jurassic Park becoming the highest-grossing film for a time that also signaled to studios the immense potential and, let's be honest, profitability of investing in sophisticated visual effects.
That makes perfect sense, yeah. It's like the technology unlocked a whole new vocabulary for sci-fi storytelling. And going back a bit further, Star Wars in '77, that also had a revolutionary impact, maybe through different means. Collider highlights its revolutionary visual effects and its broad influence on the entire filmmaking industry. Even though it used more traditional techniques in some ways, the sheer scale and artistry were just groundbreaking.
Indeed. And Star Wars wasn't just about technological innovation. It was a cultural phenomenon. Full stop. Its blend of familiar mythological archetypes with these futuristic elements resonated so deeply with audiences. And its visual effects, while pioneering for their time, really served to enhance a compelling narrative. Its financial success was transformative too, demonstrating the global appeal of large-scale science fiction epics and inspiring countless filmmakers who followed.
Right. So we see this evolution from that early visual wonder in A Trip to the Moon to the groundbreaking realism in Jurassic Park and the epic scale of Star Wars. It's fascinating how technology and storytelling intertwine like that. But sci-fi isn't just about spectacle, is it? I mean, many of the most enduring films are those that really get us thinking.
Absolutely. That's maybe the core of it for many fans. The intellectually stimulating, the thought-provoking aspect of sci-fi is richly represented in our sources. Consider Andrei Tarkovsky's Solaris from 1972, based on Stanisław Lem's novel. Collider aptly describes it as a cerebral adventure. Unlike, say, action-packed space operas, Solaris delves into the psychological depths of its characters when they're faced with this sentient ocean that manifests their deepest thoughts, their fears, their desires. What makes this film so enduring and thought-provoking for you?
For me, it's the way it uses this extraordinary sci-fi premise, this alien ocean, to explore very human themes. Memory, guilt, the nature of consciousness itself, the slow pace, that dreamlike atmosphere. It really draws you into the internal struggles. It's a film that stays with you, makes you question what's real, what it means to be human when faced with the truly unknown. It's interesting to compare it to other films exploring similar ideas like Dark City.
Oh, yes. Time Out highlights Dark City from '98, a film that digs deep into the nature of what we call reality. And they even draw parallels to Blade Runner and Solaris.
Yeah.
Stylistically, very different from Tarkovsky, of course, but Dark City also creates that sense of unease, questioning the foundations of its character's perceived reality. It's sort of an existential mystery wrapped in this visually striking neo-noir package.
Time Out calls it a grimy slice of existential angst masquerading as a noir-inflected thriller. That's pretty spot on, I think. Both Solaris and Dark City, in their own ways, leave you pondering perception and reality long after the credits roll. Then we have a more recent example of really thought-provoking sci-fi, Christopher Nolan's Interstellar from 2014.
Right. Collider praises Interstellar for its highly emotional, gripping storyline about humanity's desperate search for a new home. Beyond the impressive visuals and the, frankly, mind-bending scientific concepts, the film resonates deeply because of its focus on the human element, that bond between a father and daughter, the sacrifices made for survival. How do you feel Interstellar balances its scientific ambition with that emotional core?
I think it's the personal stakes that elevate it, the vastness of space, the complex physics. It's all in service of this very human story about love, loss, and hope. It manages to be both intellectually engaging and deeply moving, which is, a rare and powerful combination. But of course, not all great sci-fi needs to be quite so weighty. Sometimes it's just about having a good time, right?
Precisely. And Time Out champions Independence Day from '96 as a prime example of pure popcorn snarfing fun. It's that kind of spectacle-driven blockbuster that doesn't take itself too seriously and just delivers a thrilling, entertaining experience. What makes a film like that so enjoyable, do you think?
It's the sheer escapism, isn't it? The over-the-top action, the charismatic heroes, the clear good versus evil stakes. It's designed to be a crowd pleaser, and it succeeds brilliantly. Will Smith punching an alien, I mean, that's just an iconic moment of pure cinematic fun. It proves sci-fi can be just as effective as pure entertainment as it is as a vehicle for deeper thought.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of the future and how we envision it, Minority Report from 2002 stands out. It attempted a kind of plausible prediction. Time Out notes how Spielberg consulted with scientists to create a plausible future world based on the scientific understanding and trends at the time.
It's almost uncanny, looking back now, how many of the technologies depicted in that film, things like retina scanners, personalized advertising, have actually become commonplace. It really makes you consider the predictive power of science fiction sometimes. What do you think contributes to the accuracy when it happens?
Well, often science fiction draws inspiration directly from existing scientific research and then extrapolates potential future applications. By consulting with experts, as Spielberg did, filmmakers can ground their fantastical visions in a degree of plausibility.
Yeah.
And furthermore, sometimes sci-fi can act as a catalyst itself,
Yeah.
inspiring real-world innovation by presenting these compelling visions of what might be possible.
It's like these films plant seeds in the collective imagination that eventually sprout into reality. Interesting. Now let's shift focus a bit. What about films that maybe weren't immediate mainstream hits but developed a really strong, dedicated following over time, the cult classics?
Ah, yes. Time Out highlights Logan's Run from 1976 in this context. Its initial reception was mixed, let's say, but it has since garnered a significant cult following for its distinctive visual style and its exploration of that dystopian society where life is artificially limited at age 30. Think there are ongoing discussions about a potential remake speaks to its enduring appeal, I think. What do you think makes a film like Logan's Run resonate decades later?
I think it taps into some timeless anxieties, doesn't it? About aging, societal control, the value of individual life versus the collective. And the visual aesthetic is also quite striking and unique to its era, which definitely adds to its cult appeal. It's a good reminder that a film doesn't need to be a massive blockbuster to have a lasting impact.
Indeed. And continuing with films offering a decidedly unique perspective, Time Out brings up Repo Man from 1984. They describe it as outsider art at its most accessible, comedy at its most unusual, and science fiction at its most absurd. Its bizarre blend of punk subculture, alien corpses, and philosophical musing certainly sets it apart.
Definitely unique. And then there's John Carpenter's They Live from '88. Time Out aptly describes its satire as subtle as a cinder block to the head. Another one with a strong cult following. It's pretty direct anti-consumerist message delivered with that Carpenter style clearly struck a chord.
Right. And when we consider unconventional approaches to familiar sci-fi themes, Time Out discusses Jonathan Glazer's Under the Skin from 2013. They note its unsettling and unfamiliar portrayal of an alien presence on Earth. It's a film that prioritizes atmosphere, sensory experience over traditional narrative, creating a truly unique and often, frankly, disturbing viewing experience.
Yeah, it's alien encounters as you've never seen them before. A far cry from the usual invasion story. Similarly, Neil Blomkamp's District 9 from 2009 took a very different approach to the alien arrival narrative, didn't it?
Very much so. Time Out praises its cutting-edge effects combined with that grotty township realism, using the alien presence as a powerful lens for social commentary.
Yes, the brilliance of District 9 lies in how it effectively blended sci-fi with real-world social and political issues, particularly the parallels to apartheid. That grounded approach, plus the innovative effects, made it really distinctive and impactful.
Okay, shifting gears slightly to a more classic example of sci-fi with a strong narrative drive. Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan.
Ah, Khan. Time Out rightly points to its compelling villain, Ricardo Montalban's Khan, and that emotionally charged climax as key reasons for its enduring popularity, not just among Trekkies either.
Definitely. It's often cited as the pinnacle of the Star Trek film franchise. The theme of revenge, powerfully portrayed, combined with the personal stakes and the dramatic confrontation. It makes it a timeless story that really transcends the sci-fi setting.
Our sources also delve into some truly bleak but still thought-provoking dystopian visions. Stanley Kubrick's A Clockwork Orange, 71.
Yes, an adaptation of Anthony Burgess's novel. Time Out mentions its disturbing depiction of a future Britain grappling with crime and experimental behavior modification. It's a film that continues to spark debate about free will and societal control. Still powerful.
And Time Out also highlights George Lucas's earlier work, THX 1138, also from 71, more of an overt allegory maybe, exploring love and individual will against totalitarianism.
Exactly. And it's interesting to note the varying versions of that film released over the years, reflecting Lucas's evolving vision. And even further back, Time Out mentions Jean-Luc Godard's Alphaville from 1965, a fascinating example of French New Wave tackling sci-fi tropes in a dystopia ruled by a sentient computer. Very different feel.
These films really demonstrate the power of sci-fi to serve as critical commentary on contemporary society by projecting our anxieties and potential pitfalls onto these imagined futures. But even amidst these fantastical or cautionary settings, many sci-fi films ultimately explore very human emotions and relationships.
That's beautifully illustrated by Michel Gondry's Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind from 2004. Time Out describes it as a romance that elevates sci-fi with sophistication. Its exploration of memory, love, loss. The sci-fi premise of selectively erasing memories serves as this powerful backdrop for a deeply human story.
Such a brilliant film. And Duncan Jones's Moon from 2009, also mentioned by Time Out, is another great example. Visually striking, but intensely focused on the protagonist's isolation, delving into profound postulates of identity and existence within that confined lunar setting. It proved that impactful sci-fi doesn't always require a grand scale, does it?
Not at all. Which brings us perhaps to the realm of action and spectacle that still managed to incorporate significant thematic depth. James Cameron's Terminator 2, Judgment Day, 1991, a prime example. Time Out notes its cultural impact and its surprisingly prescient exploration of human connection in an increasingly technological world, all wrapped up in those groundbreaking special effects, of course.
And The Matrix from 99, highlighted by Time Out, and also on AFI's top 10 list. It seems to only become more relevant over time, with its exploration of the blurring lines between the real and virtual worlds, its philosophical underpinnings about free will, control. They continue to resonate deeply, and of course, we can't forget James Cameron again with Aliens 1986. Time Out calls it an endlessly rewatchable action masterpiece. Hard to argue with that.
Agreed. These films demonstrate that action and intellectual substance aren't mutually exclusive. They can coexist to create really compelling, lasting cinematic experiences. And furthermore, as we've touched on, science fiction has frequently served as a potent vehicle for social commentary.
Right, like Don Siegel's Invasion of the Body Snatchers from 56, highlighted by Time Out, often interpreted as reflecting Cold War anxieties about conformity, loss of individuality, the Red Scare subtext.
Classic example. A more contemporary one might be Joe Cornish's Attack the Block from 2011. Time Out praises its unique South London setting and its insightful social commentary woven into a thrilling alien invasion narrative, offered a really fresh perspective.
Yeah, that was great.
Time Out also mentions Cary Gilliam's Brazil from 85, a darkly comedic but biting dystopian nightmare, exploring the individual's struggle against a bureaucratic, oppressive system. Very Gilliam.
Finally, as we draw our deep dive towards a close, we really must acknowledge some of the undisputed masterpieces of the genre.
Absolutely. Ridley Scott's Blade Runner, 1982. Initially misunderstood perhaps, but now widely regarded as this visionary work. Its iconic, melancholic depiction of the future, noted by both Collider and Time Out. And AFI too.
And Stanley Kubrick's 2001, A Space Odyssey from 1968. Time Out rightly calls it a film that scrapes the farthest edge of cinematic achievement. It also tops AFI's prestigious list. Hard to overstate its importance.
They both had just an immeasurable influence on subsequent science fiction cinema. Still studied, admired for their artistic ambition, their profound exploration of humanity's place in the universe, they've truly stood the test of time.
Now, before we completely wrap up, we absolutely have to delve into that Reddit thread discussing hidden gems and underrated sci-fi. This is often where you find some really fascinating, overlooked films. What were some of the recurring themes or interesting titles that stood out to you from that discussion?
Oh, the Reddit thread is always a treasure trove, isn't it? It offers such a wondrously diverse range of suggestions, reflecting personal tastes and sometimes, yeah, idiosyncratic preferences. Recurring themes definitely emerged. Innovative approaches to time travel, for instance, in films like Coherence or Time Crimes, explorations of unsettling dystopian societies, echoed in suggestions like Equilibrium and maybe to some extent Children of Men, though that one's hardly hidden anymore. We also saw a number of films offering unique or unconventional takes on alien encounters, maybe reminiscent of Under the Skin, things like Life Force or Starman.
It's fascinating to see the sheer variety. You get mind-bending, intricate narratives like Triangle or The Infinite Man, alongside more comedic entries like Galaxy Quest Beloved Film,
Yeah.
and the surreal strangeness of Slaughterhouse-Five or Fantastic Planet. And then there are more intimate, character-driven sci-fi concepts like Man from Earth or The One I Love. It really highlights the breadth of the genre.
Indeed. The list just goes on. Titles like Cadla, blending sci-fi with Icelandic folklore, the thought-provoking Pandorum, even animated offerings like Scavenger's Reign. It just underscores the point that there are countless fascinating, original science fiction films beyond the mainstream that offer unique perspectives and imaginative storytelling. These hidden gems often demonstrate that creativity and compelling ideas can flourish even outside of big-budget productions, sometimes especially so.
It truly does. It highlights that there's this vast, rewarding universe of sci-fi cinema just waiting to be explored beyond the most well-known titles. And just provide a bit more context, AFI's top 10 science fiction films perhaps unsurprisingly features many we've already discussed in detail. 2001, Star Wars, Close Encounters, Alien, Blade Runner, Terminator, Jurassic Park, E.T., Empire Strikes Back, and The Matrix.
All right, it's a strong consensus of critically acclaimed and culturally significant films within the genre. Serves as a solid foundation for anyone looking to delve deeper into the key works that have shaped sci-fi cinema as we know it.
So, when we put it all together, what's the big takeaway here? It seems like science fiction cinema is just this incredibly rich and diverse landscape. It's a genre that can be visually stunning, deeply philosophical, wildly entertaining, and often a powerful reflection of our own hopes, fears, and anxieties about the future and our place in the universe.
Precisely. I think the enduring power of science fiction lies exactly there. Its ability to both transport us to other worlds and at the same time hold a mirror up to our own, prompting us to think critically about the possibilities and perils of the future and ultimately, what it means to be human.
Well said. We hope this exploration has maybe sparked some new cinematic discoveries for you, or perhaps offered a fresh lens through which to view some of your old favorites. The universe of science fiction cinema is vast, full of wonders waiting to be uncovered.
Indeed. The journey through this genre is a continuous one, really, filled with endless possibilities for discovery and contemplation.
If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of science fiction cinema and want to explore more fascinating topics with us, please do subscribe, like, and maybe leave a comment sharing your own favorite sci-fi films or any questions that this discussion has raised for you.
Yes, we're always eager to hear your thoughts and recommendations.
Thank you for listening to VSOW.